These American ideals of opportunity and equality come to us across the generations. And they have attracted millions from across the world. Yet there are young Americans growing up here, under this flag, who doubt the promise and justice of our country. They live in neighborhoods occupied by gangs and ruled by fear. They are entitled by law to an education, yet do not receive an education. They hear talk of opportunity and see little evidence of opportunity around them. Every American must believe in the promise of America. And to reach this noble, necessary goal, there is a role for government. America doesn't need more big government, and we've learned that more money is not always the answer. If a program is failing to serve people, it makes little difference if we spend twice as much or half as much. The measure of true compassion is results. Yet we cannot have an indifferent government either. We are a generous and caring people. We don't believe in a sink or swim society. The policies of our government must heed the universal call of all. Faiths to love a neighbor as we would want to be loved ourselves. We need a different approach than either big government or indifferent government. We need a government that is focused, effective, and close to the people. A government that does a few things, and does them well. Government cannot solve every problem. But it can encourage people and communities to help themselves and to help one another. Often the truest kind of compassion is to help citizens build lives of their own. I call my philosophy and approach compassionate conservatism. It is compassionate to actively help our fellow citizens in need. It is conservative to insist on responsibility and on results. And with this hopeful approach, we can make a real difference in people's lives. Compassionate conservatism places great hope and confidence in public education. Our economy depends on higher and higher skills, requiring every American to have the basic tools of learning. Every public school should be the path of upward mobility. Yet, sadly enough, many are the dead end of dreams. Public schools are some of the most important institutions of democracy. They take children of every background, from every part of the world. And prepare them for the obligations and opportunities of a free society. Public schools are Americans' great hope, and making them work for every child is America's great duty. The new education reforms we have passed in Washington give the federal government a new role in public education. Schools must meet new and high standards of performance in reading and math that will be proven on tests and posted on the internet for parents and everyone to see. And we're giving local schools and teachers unprecedented freedom and resources and training to meet these goals. It is conservative to let local communities chart their own path to excellence. It is compassionate to insist that every child learns, so that no child is left behind. By insisting on results, and challenging failure where we find it. will make an incredible difference in the lives of every child in America. Compassionate conservatism offers a new vision for fighting poverty in America. For decades, our nation has devoted enormous resources to helping the poor. With some great successes to show for it: basic medical care for those in need, a better life for elderly Americans. However, for millions of younger Americans, welfare became a static and destructive way of life. In 1996, we began transforming welfare with time limits and job training and work requirements. And the nation's welfare rolls have been cut by more than half. But even more importantly, many lives have been dramatically improved. One former welfare recipient here in California happened to be a mother of a chronically ill. Child and the victim of domestic violence, describes her experience upon leaving welfare. She said, "I feel like an adult again. I have my dignity back." We need to continue to fully transform welfare in America. As Congress takes up welfare reform again in the coming weeks, we must strengthen the work requirements that prevent dependency and despair. Millions of Americans once on welfare are finding that a job is more than a source of income. It is a source of dignity. And by helping people find work, by helping them prepare for work, we practice compassion. Welfare reform must also, wherever possible, encourage the commitments of family. Not every child has two devoted parents at home, I understand that. And not every marriage can, or should be saved. But the evidence shows that strong marriages are good for children. When a couple on welfare wants to break bad patterns and start or strengthen a marriage, we should help local groups, give them counseling that teaches commitment and respect. By encouraging family, we practice compassion. In overcoming poverty and dependence, we must also promote the work of charities and community groups and faith-based institutions. These organizations, such as shelters for battered women or mentoring programs for fatherless children or drug treatment centers, inspire hope in a way that government never can. Often, they inspire life-changing faith in a way that government never should. Our government should view the good Americans that work in faith-based charities as partners, not rivals. We must provide new incentives for charitable giving and, when it comes to providing federal resources to effective programs, we should not discriminate against private and religious groups. I urge the Senate to pass the faith-based initiative for the good of America. It is compassionate to aggressively fight poverty in America. It is conservative to encourage work and community spirit. And responsibility and the values that often come from faith. And with this approach, we can change lives one soul at a time. And make a real difference in the lives of our citizens. The same principles of compassion and responsibility apply when America offers assistance to other nations. Nearly half of the world's people still live on less than $2 a day. When we help them, we show our values, our belief in universal human dignity. We serve our interests and gain economic partners. And by helping the developing nations of the world. We offer an alternative to resentment and conflict and terror. Yet the old way of pouring vast amounts of money into development aid without any concern for results has failed. Often leaving behind misery and poverty and corruption. America's offering a new compact for global development. Greater aid contributions from America must be and will be. Linked to greater responsibility from developing nations. I have proposed a 50% increase in our core development assistance over the next 3 budget years. Money that will be placed in a new Millennium Challenge account. At the end of this 3-year period. The level of our annual development assistance will be $5 billion higher than current levels. This is a record amount of spending. And in return for these funds, we expect nations to root out corruption. To open their markets, to respect human rights, and to adhere to the rule of law. And these are the keys to progress in any nation, and they will be the conditions for any new American aid. It is compassionate to increase our international aid. It is conservative to require the hard reforms that lead to prosperity and independence. And with this approach, we'll make a real difference in the lives of people around the world. Compassionate conservatism guides my administration in many other areas. Our healthcare policies must help low-income Americans to buy health insurance they choose. They own and they control. Our environmental policy set high standards for stewardship. While allowing local cooperation and innovation to meet those standards. Our housing programs moved beyond rental assistance to the pride and stability of home ownership. Our reforms in Social Security must allow and encourage and help working Americans. To build up their own asset base and achieve independence for their retirement years. All of these policies and all of these areas serve the same vision. We are using an active government to promote self-government. We're encouraging individuals and communities and families to take more. And more responsibility for themselves, for their neighbors, for our nation. The aim of these policies is not to spend more money or spend less money, it is to spend on what works. The measure of compassion is more than good intentions, it is good results. Sympathy is not enough. We need solutions in America, and we know where solutions are found. When schools are teaching, when families are strong, when neighbors look after their neighbors. When our people have the tools and the skills and the resources they need to improve their lives. There is no problem that cannot be solved in America. By being involved and by taking responsibility upon ourselves. We gain something else, as well, we contribute to the life of our country. We become more than taxpayers and occasional voters, we become citizens. Citizens. not spectators. Citizens who hear the call of duty, who stand up for their beliefs, who care for their families. Who control their lives, and who treat their neighbors with respect and compassion. We discover a satisfaction that is only found in service. And we show our gratitude to America and to those who came before us.